instead of even talking through appointed officials, it's better to talk to the entire group.
Oh, yes.
And whether you are 300 or 400 and you want to see me, it doesn't matter to me. If we don't fit here, we can hold a kamkunji outside and we talk until we reach an agreement. So feel welcome here. And I'm sorry we kept you a little long, or very long, because I was preparing for something else which was in our diary. But let me try to answer the issues that have been raised. The first thing I want to say, when I went for election, agriculture and health were on top of my agenda. Agriculture and health. And there's one thing that happens with the budgeting process, the control of budget, the people at the Treasury, they keep on telling us that our wage bill as a percentage of resources made to the county is too much, is above what it should be. But when it comes to people who are working in the health sector, who are offering services in the health sector, be it clinicians, be it nurses, be it doctors, be it radiologists, my position is that the question of the wage bill should not be a factor, because health is a matter of life and death. And we have had constraints, for example, in employing more nurses, employing more doctors, and we need many, many, many people doing a job. We need many, many, many. And sometimes I go to some of the facilities up to the dispensaries, and most of them don't have the staff they need. And when you want to employ, you are told about the wage bill. For me, anybody working in a health institution should not be considered as part of the wage bill. The people who work in health institutions are a necessity, because it's a matter of life and death. And it begins from what you may consider the smallest job to the highest consultant. Therefore, I'm very, very sympathetic to the issues that you are raising, because we don't have enough people. We need more people to be employed on permanent and pensionable terms, working in facilities here in Siaya and everywhere, in every ward and in every sub-county. So that's number one. Number two, your issue has been with the Council of Governors. And we have been having a conversation even up to last week on what to do with the UHC staff. And we keep on getting letters either from the national government or from the Council of Governors on what we should do as county governments. So I apologize profusely that the resolution of this issue should have come before the 31st of May, because everybody knew your contracts are ending in May. So it should have been resolved before May. But you're good people, you're patriots. Despite those contracts coming to an end, you've still been offering your services without pay. And that should not have happened. We had communications after discussions of the Council of Governors advising us that the national government was now ready and prepared to continue engaging uh, the UHH staff. And as Council of Governors, we are not satisfied getting any letter other than from the CS in charge of health, Cabinet Secretary. And indeed, she wrote such a letter advising that the Public Service Commission was giving its approval that your contracts should be renewed so that there should be seamless service. Now, when that came about, there was now the issue, who renews the contract? Is it the national government or is the county public service board? Because the employer has got to be one or the other, or one board or the board can act on delegated authority from the commission. So sometime in June, we got a communication that now the Public Service Board can do a head count and enter the process of renewing the contract. And because essentially in law you are staff of the national government, the head count was necessary not just on the basis of knowing who was who, but whether your records were with the national government, so that we could confirm that the national government would be happy with the board if they were renewing the contract of those who had been previously engaged by the national government. So again, it took a little time waiting for the records to come from the national government. So that came eventually, and that's why you were called by the board for the head count. Thirdly, there was a question of, was there a budget for it? Like, for example, we had a commitment by the national government that they were going to pay community health volunteers, Nyamrerwa. They made their commitment, that commitment has not been met despite being made last year. So we wanted to get that commitment clearly, whether that budget should come from the county government or it should come from the national government. And we are given, not in writing, but confirmation in the meetings where we are, that the national government is going to pay for your emoluments in accordance with the contract. And after all those matters were made clear, and I've got some of the correspondence here, not all the correspondence, I then personally told Waziri here that the process should begin. And that was towards the end of June. And in between, we're also waiting for that record to come from the national government. So as things stand now, let me make a long story short. We got authority from the national government to give you contracts for 3 years, and those contracts are going to be executed by the board on behalf of the national government. In the meantime, there's also clarity from the national government that there should be no interruption of your service, and by that we understood that if there were any pending payments in terms of salaries, as you say, you don't have any allowances, that will be met by the national government. Now, that being the case, I've asked the acting chairman here that it is now upon him to give us the time frame upon which he can issue these contracts to all of you. And his indication to me is that by the end of the day on 10th of August, you should all get your contracts, all of you. So that's the assurance I want to give. About the counties that they are saying have given contracts, as we speak, I think there's a general consensus that all the counties are giving these letters, but I'm aware of only 2 who have given letters of contract. And I normally try, when it comes to such matters, I try to follow with the keenest eye, and I've been on the phone trying to find out from my fellow colleagues who have issued and who have not issued. But that being the position, it does not take away our responsibility to make sure that those contracts are done. Now, thirdly, about permanent and pensionable. This is you got to help us in this, because I cannot offer permanent and pensionable employment if the question of the employer is still a question that rests on the decision of the national government. But I am prepared to be part of a team, as we have done, to make sure that money that the national government is paying should come as part of the PE budget of the county government, so that it is the county government which pays according to the records, and also that we then can negotiate with you directly on what to do going forward. Because these 3-year contracts also doesn't help you. Yeah, because 3 years, after 3 years, you wonder where you're going. But I want us to get engaged in that negotiation. I'm prepared to sit with a small team and see how we can do it. We did it with the ECD teachers. There's a moment when they got a bit, they thought it was not going to happen. But we took a brave decision to give ECDs permanent and pensionable. And I'm thinking of which county has taken ECD teachers on permanent and pensionable terms. I can't think of one. Mr. Rading, in the next, if you're doing a recruitment for jobs for which those who are in contract are serving, whether they are employees of the national government or not, or of the county government, Dr. Onyango, you're hearing me? Yes. If they've been working for contract for 3 years, in a position that is available, the first consideration should be for those who are working on contract. So I can tell you from the bottom of my heart, I feel for you, and last week and this week has been a very bad week for us. We've been going to hospitals, seeing those people who are shot, were brutalized, and ours is just to sympathize, but you are the people who sit down with people who are between life and death. So I pray to you that I'll try as much as possible not to let you down on this one. I'll try not to let you down.
Like equal work, equal pay. We are doing the same work, but the salary scale does not match. Then another thing is just paining that we are health workers. Like now, I cannot access. Siwezi tibiwa. Like I can't get healthcare services. Now that the contract ended on May, my NHI, all of us, our NHIF is not functional, and you are the one giving that services. It's just paying, and we have bills to clear, sir. We have bills to clear. We have people on our neck. It is just sad that we were to go to CCF, but we agreed that we are just coming to see you, and we sort this issue for life. And some of us are 40-something years. It's paining. Mtu ameandikwa PMP behind you. This person is just remaining with just, I don't know if 10 years or what. Atajenga nyumba na nini? Like, what? Si umezeeka?
Speak for yourself.
Yes, umezeeka.
My name is Stephen Opio, representing UHC staff Siaya County on matters pertaining to their professional developments. And in this regard, today we decided as a team to visit the able governor through his office to air out our issues and grievances concerning our careers, in which our able governor has promised us that he will give us the first considerations whenever there is any recruitments for permanent and pensionable terms of service opportunities, and that he is going to ensure that we are served with our renewal of contracts latest on Thursday this week in his office. That has come as a time when there was stalemate in the renewal of contracts, payment of salaries, statutory deductions including NHIF, where members were leading seamless lives in which there were frustrations. Up to that end, our issues have been resolved by our able governor, and we are going back to work with clear indication and determination that come Thursday this week, all of us shall receive our letters for contract renewals, and on the same date we shall form another committee to discuss on ways forward on how we can be translated into permanent and pensionable terms of service so that we are equal to our counterparts in the same department.
Yeah. And talk about it frankly and try to find a solution together. But for now, we have agreed with Waziri here. For those who have come today,
our phone in silence or vibration. Our phone.
Christopher.